Hello and welcome back to another episode of Infamous. This is Brandon or Mutilus on Discord.
This is Aaron. I go by Treffinwood on Discord.
This is a special guest, Nigel from Muse.
I just want to point out you're the one that said you were special. So
Yeah.
we do indeed have a guest on today. Parker is detained and Jeremy is afraid of computers. So we have Nigel on from Muse. So yeah, how are things been going?
Pretty good.
Good. Did you do anything with that video card yet? Or are you still waiting for me to send you the new one?
I was still futzing with it. I was going to buy a new thing. I actually brought it to the game store to give it to Aaron and Kenny, but they didn't give me a card, and then I forgot about it. I figured...
Yeah, I couldn't meet up with them in time because Aaron didn't come up on Thursday, and then, Jeremy was only up on, I think, Monday as well.
Yeah, once we got game and I didn't think about it. So then when they left, I'm like, oh my god, maybe they just forgot to give it to me, and then...
Nope.
But, I mean, I'll try to make it work. I just need to get a big old battery. A big old power supply.
Yeah, I'll send you a card and a power supply. I have an extra one. All right. So we've got hobby projects. You guys working on anything cool?
Yep, I started taking commissions, so I'm painting everybody's Adepticon crap now.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going okay. I painted Aaron England's. I'm not really sure if he's actually doing like Midnight Suns or whatever, but it was like Elsa Bloodstone Man thing and whatever. And then I've got my Judgment stuff out. Josh's Judgment stuff out.
Are you going to Adepticon?
No.
Okay. You said your Judgment stuff. I was just curious.
Yeah. I want to finish it up. I've got a lot of it.
Yeah. I can't remember the last time I saw you with like a fully painted army, and so normally your stuff looks great painted, but usually you have like the 3 pieces you've done, and then there's like a bunch of stuff that's like in process.
Yep, we're wrapping. That's our New Year's resolution. We're not playing unpainted.
Nice.
Which is miserable, because that means I'm playing stuff like Omega Red.
Omega Red's legit. Take that back. Aaron, you painting anything right now?
Nope. I intend to finish the last 3 models I have that are gray, probably on Monday, is my guess.
Nice. I've started printing a paint storage rack for my desk. And as soon as that's done, I'm going to start painting my Judgment stuff, I think.
Cool.
Did you print that one behind you?
Yeah, that's the one. This is the new one. So I started printing it in black and light gray over here. Mm-hmm. And it actually works pretty great because I still use all the old P3 paints. And so each tray holds like 20-ish, 25-ish.
Sure. So
it's pretty neat. And then the cool thing about these trays is that it's got these little pins on them. I guess it definitely doesn't come through the audio very well, but the cool thing about it is you can hook it on as soon as I get it to go in. There we go. And so it just kind of like rests out. And so you can have access to them. The tray sits at like a 45-degree angle out the front, and then you just lift it and push it in. And then it stores. So you can get to all your paints really easy. And it's the same system we use for those storage boxes that everybody's got at the store. So it's all compatible with that. So if you've got like a tray of models you want to paint, you can just slide the tray in here, or vice versa. You can grab your paints, put them in your storage box, and take them to the store with you.
Coolio.
Oh, wait, oops, I had to adjust my chair there. Are we on the pre-ramble right now? Or is this the pre-ramble? Okay.
No, this is the pre-ramble.
Sure.
So you guys, are you still elbow deep in Path of Exile like Aaron?
Oh, yeah. Yep. It's a full-time job.
Nigel might be deeper than I am.
We're trying to get Aaron down to a full-time job.
Yeah. Aaron it's more of a job, like he's actually working when he's playing. Whereas with me, I just go in there and goof off. I mostly just log in and make a mess of things.
I go out, I die 4 times, I log out.
Yeah, exactly.
Just complete waste.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been looking at logging back in, but I'm just in the middle of a lot of printer stuff right now, and so I don't have a lot of sit-down time. I'm always up and moving around, so... But I did just kind of reorganize my whole desk area, and so I'm kind of excited. I plugged my Switch into my computer monitors with the resolution that I will actually play my Switch occasionally.
Oh.
And now I realize that it doesn't play sound over a computer monitor. It only does it over a TV. So
yeah.
Now I have to go get a TV and put it above my monitors.
The Switch doesn't act as a little speaker?
I mean, it normally does if you don't plug it in, but if it's plugged into an external monitor, it thinks that has sound,
okay.
so it's sending the sound through the cable.
Boo.
And I'm sure there's probably a setting I could change to make that not happen, but the whole goal would be that I could play through my headphones, and so that's not the case. Although I can Bluetooth my headset to my Switch, and that would probably fix it.
Are you actually playing Judgment and stuff these days?
I played Jeremy a bunch in the last few weeks.
Okay.
It's really great. Jeremy shows up, and then I kill all of his models a bunch of times, and then he leaves. And then it's been going that way for a while. It's pretty great.
Oh.
We did have, was it? I can't remember if it was at the tournament or, no, I don't think it was. I think it was just random game night. And it was just one of those, like, nothing goes your way games. And he just got so freaking unlucky on every single roll we did. And he took it in stride really well. But at the end of the game, he was like, I'm just going to move to here and harvest this soul. And I'm like, but I've got 4 people within charge range of that spot, and you have like 8 health. He's like, I don't care. I'm not going to lose this game with 0 souls. I'm like, that's fair. That's a fair point. Walks up, snakes, spends fate, snakes again, picks up his models. I was like, I'm sorry, Jeremy. I didn't do anything. He's like, I know, you didn't do anything.
That's the problem.
Yeah. It was great. Jeremy says repeatedly that I've made him believe in Kogan again, which is fun. I like Kogan. Kogan's my workhorse in almost every list.
How could I have not made him believe in Kogan?
I don't know.
Yeah, Kogan's my huge workhorse in every game.
Well, I think in one of those games, Kogan did, it was like 17 damage on a charge or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was very impressed off of that.
Yeah, Kogan will get you. You do that that battle cry, and then boom, you get the chainsaws going.
You get the battle cry, and I think that game I had Bloodlust off of Cruel, so obviously he's charging for 1 less, and so he's getting actually 3 attacks plus feet plus, and I had Vorpal Blade on him that game, so he's like Mat 9 on effigy power turn.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's a problem. But he dies, right? Like that's the problem. Is you can't put him in dangerous spots because he will just go down.
I mean, he's tougher than like Zonia.
Mm-hmm. And when you give him like Bloodsucker, which is what I've been doing lately, like he heals 8 a turn basically. So it's like, sure, you can kill him, but he's going to have effectively 28 health because you're never going to kill him in one go. So you just really have to make sure he doesn't get double teamed because nobody else is really doing 20 reliably.
Yep, and that's where Lug Drug comes in.
Yeah.
I used to protect Zonia and Cruel with Lug Drug, and then I realized it's actually Kogan. Those two make a pretty good buddy combo.
I'm still pretty torn on the new, what's it called, Second Wind change. I really don't like it.
I mean, Second Wind's the biggest piece of shit in the game, so changing it so it doesn't like screw you. Like you can just take it and get rid of it, and I think that artifact is so trash. That...
Yeah. So my new plan is, because the problem is I keep trying to put it on Zanja, and I think it's just bad on her now. It was fine when it basically gave her a 3-square retreat when she killed somebody. Or, like, if you gave her Scroll of Teleportation is what I used to do, and so she could just get out after she killed somebody. It was really good. But now, with it costing a fate, it's just not worth it.
Well, I mean, if you're ever going to do it one time, it costs you a fate one way or the other.
Sure. I mean, that's fair. It's just not worth a long-term strategy, because what I was always doing before that was, you basically just, you're yo-yoing, right? I charge in, I kill the thing, I back up. And so... You're using Zafin and Kogan to soften people up. Zanja goes in, kills them, gets back. That was the whole plan of the list before. And it just doesn't work now because you're just so fate hungry already with those 3 models that you just can't afford the fate factory.
Yeah.
And so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put Thorgar back in, and I'm just going to give him the Second Wind because I feel like he'll actually be able to utilize it way more because he's also not fate hungry on his own. Mm-hmm. Because, yeah, if she's spending 2 fate every activation and you have Kogan and Zafin, like, it's just, you have no way to produce that much fate. Reliably, at least. But yeah, so I'm excited. I'm going to put Thorgar back in and give him Second Wind and see how he does.
Yeah.
Because I do really like being able to take, like, the first turn by being 0 fate is super nice.
Yeah, just having it right off the gate. Yep.
Yeah. But now that they've done the center shrine, not being able to move to the center shrine feels really bad. And so, like, if she is 0 buying, then she's not contributing at all in the first turn.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just interesting.
Yeah, I wait for her to die, and then if she doesn't have an offensive upgrade by then, that's when I take it. and she'll die, get the free buy there. And then I don't feel like I'm losing anything, or after your first monster kill, whatever.
Yeah. So what have you been playing in Judgment?
Bruellen, and I basically play like the same 7 dudes. No matter what.
You play the same 7 guys every time, or you play the same 7 as I do?
The same 7 every time. It's like Skull, Kogan, Lugdrug, Zonia, Krull, Kavarto, and I don't know. I guess it's like between Brock and Thorgar, so it's always another fighting guy.
Because I'm doing Zanja, Kogan, Cruel, Skull, Zaffin, and then I've got Kavarto and Drelgoth.
Okay.
And so Drelgoth is who I'm going to cut to put Thorgar back in. And I like Drelgoth a lot, but I've been transitioning to melee Kogan a lot, and so without being able to give Drelgoth the Vorpal Blade, he's a little less reliable, just because he's really dicey on, he's still good, but he's just less valuable, I think.
Yeah.
And in most games, he's the one I don't take after they ban someone. It's pretty rare that he gets taken as the 5th model. And so Thorgar, I think, in a lot of games can replace Zanja, and Drelgoth doesn't do that. He does something completely different, which is also very good, but he's not a parallel. And so the reason I took him out originally is because Thorgar wasn't getting played over Zanja, but with the change to Second Wind, I think that might be less likely. I think I might actually play him over Zanja in some games.
Yeah. I like them both. I like him and her.
I used to like Zanja a lot, and I've cooled on her a lot, even though I think I figured her out, basically. Like, I know how she works, and I just don't like the inconsistentness of her without items and levels. And I'm giving my levels and items to Kogan, so she's just kind of a naked level 1 Zanja on turn 2 and 3.
Well, what's weird is that with her, that's what I liked about her early, is I thought she was super consistent. Like, she was the one that I wouldn't give items because she's melee 8, so you don't need to give her like a Vorpal Blade or anything.
She can contribute without items, but she's not impressive without items. And I feel like Thorgar can be impressive without items.
Well, I think she's impressive without items if she's level 2. Like, that's when she starts to just be like...
Yeah, but the problem is if I can't get her level 2, because it's like, you only have 1 monster on your side.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I'm just melee 8, I charge in, I hit twice, and if she doesn't crit on the second one, she's just like, not scary at all.
Yeah.
Because she's like, you take like 10 damage, and then she dies. I think Lugdrug is probably really good. I just really don't like his model, so I don't play him.
I played him because I loved his model, and then I've had mixed up and downs. I love and hate him at the same time all the time.
You love and hate his mechanics or his model?
His mechanics. He's
okay.
He has games where he works really great, and then he has games where he feels like he's ice skating uphill or a little too cute for his own good.
Okay.
But I'm getting more into the value. Like, I once you raise the floor on him a bit, with just like learning how he works, then it's like, because I find that that like 1 hex move he gets to go towards his ward every turn is like pretty cracked. Like, that frustrates Josh specifically. Like, it frustrates the shit out of him.
Well, yeah, because you're positioning for where people are, and out of activation movement is really hard to deal with in that regard.
Yeah, you always want to like pin him in or do whatever, and he just like gets a free 1 hex move, gets out of everybody's, doesn't have to worry about free strikes, and then he just like off and runs away or whatever. Yeah, he's super cool. I hate the ward mechanic though compared to like a standard defender. I guess that's the functionally it's the same thing. So like, I don't know why I care, but yeah, I do feel like the ward isn't as consistent. I'd like to be flexible. It's like ward's so much less flexible.
Yep.
I really like dual wield characters, which is why I have Skull and Drelgoth in my list. Because that way you can't ban both of them. But yeah, I probably would actually prefer Lugdrug in a lot of games, but it's hard to justify 2 tanks in Bruellen, I think, because if you have 2 tanks and a support, and they ban one of your good damage dealers, I think it's hard to put a really threatening list on the table.
Yeah, the thing with Lugdrug that's weird is he's like a run manufacturer sometimes, like just the little energy tokens he's getting, and then he can kind of manufacture damage, so he's not a high output model, but he's definitely great at picking up spares.
Yeah, very efficient.
Yeah, and people like Tinkerbell or Stinkerbell, fucking Encourage, whatever her name is, she can't like stand it. Like they'll be thinking they're pretty sweet, and then he'll just shoot her in the face, and he gets, it's not a melee attack, so she's not res 2, and then she's in fact res 0 because he's shooting her with an actual gun.
That's who you mean.
Yeah,
I don't know slang, so I'm like, who the fuck is Tinkerbell?
Stinkerbell.
It's not normal slang. That's
okay. He's just being okay.
It's a Muse special right there.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but that's just what she does.
Please refrain from using Muse-like language on Infamous.
Yeah. But yeah, so sometimes he'll be one of the models you need to get it done. Just I love that gun. It's like it's so dumb. And the people he's shooting with it, because it's AP, it's like, yeah, I can't shoot Alan Deer with it, but I can sure as heck shoot, like Thorgar or whatever.
Yeah. All right. Aaron, do you have any thoughts on Judgment stuff that we were talking about?
You guys were wrong about Second Wind. Zanya is just a bad model and you shouldn't play her.
No, I said that while you were gone.
Okay.
Wait, Zanya's a bad model and you should play her?
Should not.
Should not.
Oh, should not play her.
Yeah, there was an "nt" in there that I failed to emphasize.
Well, first off, she's arguably the best model in the game, aesthetically. And then,
aesthetically, I don't agree, but I hear your argument. I think the orcs in general, with the exception of Lugdrug, are all great. Cruel is my favorite model, I think.
Oh, jeez.
Just his whole skulls and like witch doctor motif, it's really cool, and they really came off well on the model. Zanja's also great. She's just, Orc Frenzy Berserker is just cool, and then they did a good job with her.
I like her model. I also like Lugdrug's model a lot. I'm with
I like Lugdrug a lot.
I like the concept of Lugdrug. I just don't like the Victorian steampunk mixed with orcs. I think if they had gone with more of like a orc scrap heap kind of look to him, I think I would have really enjoyed it.
Maybe you haven't looked close. He's like 40K.
I don't see that on the model. I guess I could look at him again.
Yeah. He's
when I look at him, I see this like all this smooth machined metal that's all like bolted together really cleanly, and I'm like, that's not what I thought this was going to look like. Kavarto is also a great model. He unfortunately gets a lot of hate because he's a dickhead, but
yeah, I think
my favorite move right now is against Jeremy. I just buy Glyph of Warding on Kavarto, and Jeremy, his just soul dies when I do that. He's like, I don't want to play this game anymore. And just Kavarto's just standing on the midline like, what? And then, I usually also have Skulls, so Skulls throwing Bulwark on him, and he's just like, I fucking hate you. Kavarto's just doing whatever he wants.
Yeah, that is pretty sick.
Yeah, Kavarto.
Right, so
never mind.
No, it's fine. We can keep talking Judgment if you want.
Oh, sure. I was just going
to say
Kavarto and Krull, even though I take them and play them, are the two models I very rarely get my money back. Like it's like, oh boy, why did I take these guys?
Oh, really? I say Cruel is my MVP in every game he's in, basically. I guess it's through the additive value of his kit as opposed to him specifically doing crazy stuff. But
yeah.
Like, they have to respect you so much more when you've got, like, Bloodlust and, what's this fucking, his soul adjunct thing where he knocks souls off you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Strip soul?
Yeah.
That's badass,
yeah. And then I haven't gotten Frenzy to work yet, but I'm telling you, I'm going to build an all-orc list. I'm going to come for you. I'm going to be casting Frenzy all the time.
It's the dream. I did it once for, like, one tournament. I think it went all orcs.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Not, like, superbly well, but it can function.
Yeah. Okay, so have you guys played any video games other than Path of Exile in the last month?
I played 2 games of Heroes of the Storm. Does that count? Of course it counts.
I'll accept it. Yeah, that's
not sure I should admit that, but I did.
Did you play it because you wanted to, or did you play it for other reasons?
I played because I wanted to, because I got really mad because I died at some point in Path of Exile, and I didn't want to play that for like an hour. So I was like, what else do I have that I can just kill time for an hour while I clear my head? And I decided to play that.
There you go.
A lot of my other games tend to be more time intensive. Like, I'll play it for a week or a month or something. Not. I've always viewed HOTS as a great 30 minutes to an hour time killer.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And then after 2 games, you're like, yeah, I remember how toxic this game is and why I should never play it again.
That is one thing I've liked so far about Rivals, which is not exactly the same game, but it's vaguely similar.
Mm-hmm.
is you don't have what seems to be a super toxic community in it yet, or at least I don't experience it that way. And it's probably just because it's an FPS. There's no real time to chat, but
Can't remember if I mentioned this on cast or not, but I'll repeat it. And if I did, I apologize to our listeners. My daughter's boyfriend, she convinced him to try HOTS. And so he's, I don't know, 18 or so, and playing HOTS for his first time, doing not outstandingly well, as you can imagine, for your first time ever in a video game. And he's just getting like death threats.
Yeah.
In the chat. People are telling like, do us a favor, go home and choke yourself. And he's just like, oh my God.
Yep.
Yeah, MOBAs, the gift that keeps on giving. Alright, so if you guys haven't played any new video games yet, that's not a topic.
Well, I've played Void Train, and then I play Dead by Daylight, but I haven't really played them much since Path of Exile. But Void Train's like the last new game I played. It's like still a pre-release.
I was just curious what you played lately, not necessarily new games. I like watching Dead by Daylight a little bit, but it seems like wherever the best player is in the group, that's who wins most of the time. Like if the killer's really good, you just lose, and if there's a really good survivor, then they just auto win.
A one good survivor can't carry 3 bad ones. Period.
Okay, that's good to know.
But it would require the killer to be dumb. So if the killer runs into a guy who literally can't be caught, then he's stupid to chase that guy for the whole game. Because you can just ignore him. It's like, oh, that guy's just tough. He's really. But if you go and kill the other 3 people, then the guy who's really good at the game can't do the generators because you'll be chasing him. So, like you can usually kill the 3 bad guys before the good guy can finish 3 generators or 5 generators. Okay. So no, but one good guy can be a really obnoxious challenge. But it's really like when they have a team that's like 3 good guys, that's when the killer can't really win that easy, or if at all. But that's super rare. And I think it's like 68% of all games is solo queue. So just random people.
Yeah, it's hard to get a good team.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So their killer win rate is like 60% or something because they just absolutely feast on solos.
Now, how does that work? Is it like a point system where it's like once they've killed a number of heroes, then they just win? Or do they have to kill like everybody? Is there a time limit?
The metric by which the game declares you the winner is if you kill 3 out of the 4. So
okay. Is it simultaneously? So you can like hook people, then you can kill them, right?
Yep, you have I think it's like 13 hook states or whatever. It's each 3 hook states per person, so and then their 3rd hook they die. And there's other ways to kill them, but so you have to hook each person. And basically what good killers do is they'll find one person who sucks. They'll try to suss out, focus him out, and then it becomes 3
and then get down to 3, so yeah.
Yep. But they've added new perks. There's a perk that's like a good player can give to a bad player. So like when a good player unhooks the bad player, he gives that bad player his hook state. So then the killer's like,
takes
man,
the damage for them.
I've hooked this guy 4 times, 5 times. Is this the game's not ending? Yeah.
Aaron, are you aware of Dead by Daylight?
I'm not.
It is I don't know what kind of game it is.
It's so weird.
It's hard to explain. It's an asymmetrical like horror survival game. Mm-hmm. One person plays the killer, like the slasher. So you play like Jason or Freddy or like any number of random horror movie characters.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll wander around these like preset maps, and it's kind of like Left 4 Dead, where it's like really creepy and like there's tall grass and stuff. And the survivor's goal, and there's 4 of them, and they're trying to accomplish the objective, and then they get to escape. And it's like the door opens, they can get out. And so they're running around this like old creepy farm, trying to turn on these generators so they can open this big door to get them out of the trap. And so the killer's wandering around trying to catch them, and they can like, break the generators and stuff. And so they're trying to accomplish the goal and get out, and then the killer's trying to kill them. And so it's one of the more entertaining games to watch on Twitch if you're just bored.
Mm-hmm.
It's a super fun skill expression game. That's why I've been so addicted to it. Is like, you get the controls down well enough that you can like 360 spin killers and killers also have skills that they do. And even each killer, just the way they behave on the map, there's like skill expression for them. Like there's this character called the Blight who bounces like 5 times. He runs really, really, really fast, and he bounces off walls like a ricochet. And he can do what's called a hug tech. So like if you're trying to run away from him, you'll get people in like loops where you're like running around a car. A good Blight player can like bounce, but rather than bounce directly off the car, they'll like bounce in a way where they slide down it, and then when they hit the end of the car, they actually stay on the car, and they will 90-degree around the front bumper, 90-degree around. Like super annoying when they can do it because they're basically glitching the game. But so it takes skill to do it, but it's not something that they should be able to do. But
the cool thing about the game is each of the killers plays very differently, and they have different abilities. And then I believe every person can level up in the game as well. Your account levels up, and you gain access to new talents and things.
Yep.
Like, for example, there's like lockers and closets and stuff you can hide in. And so you can take a skill that like makes it harder to detect you inside there, I think, or something along those lines.
You jump in it quietly. So normally you have to go in really slow to do it quietly. There's one called Quick and Quiet where you can like just hop in instantly. And usually if you're doing that, it's because you want to pair it with. There's another one called I can't remember what it's called. But when you jump out of the locker, you'll like stun the killer. So it gives you like 3 seconds to run away. And so people will purposely, when you have coordinated groups, they'll purposely like lead their chase past a locker that has someone hiding in it, so that when the killer runs by, they think, "Oh, he gets stunned," and then the survivors snicker like little kids, and then one of the other ones will hop in the locker. You know, like the killer, because he's stunned, he doesn't realize that the person he was chasing now has just hopped in the locker, and the other person is run in front of him, so he'll go to chase that guy, immediately get dragged across the locker again. So then, like, survivors just do stuff to just make killers are basically kindergarten teachers, and survivors are kindergartners. That's like what the game actually is. Because survivors are really immature dipshits, and they get all of their joy off of slightly aggravating the killer. and the killer is just got to be this adult. It's like, God damn it. And he has to just chase them around and kill them.
Yeah. Yeah, I've only watched a small amount of it, but it is one of the games I prefer to stream. One of the cool things about the game is it can be super tense, right? Because you can't defeat the killer. Like, you can't hurt him. Like, you can just annoy him. And if he gets a hold of you, he just auto wins, basically. Yeah. And so it's cool when it's like actually a really close match, and they're like, all right, I don't actually know where the killer is, and he might be in this next room, but I need to go past this room to get to the generator, turn it on. And so you're like sneaking around. He's like, fuck, where is he? And so like that could be really fun to watch.
And there's no matter, like, I have 4,000 hours in it, and there's still times where I just straight shit my pants, like where they particularly.
That's because you're supposed to take breaks.
Yeah, no, it's like you'll just be working on a generator, and you'll be like joking with your buddies on Discord, and you're looking around, like you're constantly like looking at like the two ways.
And then the Hellraiser guy steps out from around the corner, and you go, "Fuck!"
Nope, it's just Mike Myers. Staring, he's like literally like creeping like the Burger King, like slightly looking in the the window at you. He's like staring at you from like 2 rooms away or something, just quietly staring at you. He's not doing anything, and it's just, you'll just shit your pants. You're just like, Jesus Christ, because he's stalking you. Like, that's his powers. He's trying to like, because if he stalks you to a certain percentage, he insta downs you. So it's and then most Mike Myers are assholes, and they run these like mods where Mike Myers is a guy, if he gets to full tier 3, where like he can insta down you, he can do what's called a mori, so he can just stab you with like a pipe, and he'll just kill you. It'll remove you from the game regardless of the hooks. It just like if
so he bypasses your health, he just one shots you.
Yeah, it's a rare add-on, so like they have to farm the points and spend it to use it. But every Mike Myers, if it's a Mike Myers doing that, and if he's willing to sit there and stalk you, he probably has got a tombstone. Judas Tombstone, he's gonna just kill you, and then it's like great. And it's terrifying.
And so when you think you're safe and he's not like harassing you while you're doing a generator, you turn around and realize that he's been like assassin staring you the whole time. He's about to one shot you.
Yeah, yep. And because he's so quiet, he doesn't have a terror radius. Like most killers, when they come up, they have a terror radius, so you kind of get a feel for it.
Yeah.
And so you'll just be like looking back, forth, and then you'll just notice there's this like white face with black eyes that's in the shadows, and it's clearly because he's trying to obfuscate himself, but he also needs a clear line of sight to you to stalk properly. It's terrifying. And then there are like a lot of people who play the game who take it super. There's a guy named Booyah. He streams in full Mike Myers cosplay, and he is Mike Myers. Like, he will most of the stream not talk, and he plays like Mike Myers. Like he plays the way Mike Myers would play the game. Like he'll play on Haddonfield, and he'll go upstairs into the window of like Judah's house, and he'll stare at them from the window like all game. Like he'll just sit there,
just watch everybody and then go kill them.
Then to go kill him, like right at the he's got like an end game, what's called an end game build. And so as soon as the last generator's done, it's like, oh, it's time to play, and like shit starts. He pumps on this music. It's like terrifying, like it's like this real slow horror music, like build up, like the slow piano from Halloween. And then when the end game hits, it's like this like terror music that's on, and he's just chasing. It's like pure chaos, and like people they're just dying and screaming as he's fucking stabbing them with pipes, and it's like.
Isn't Leatherface one of the people you can play?
Nope, there was a light. Oh no, no, Leatherface is one. Sorry, it's
okay.
Jason. They have the Trapper, who's like the Jason stand-in. Jason's the one
Jason's
who they don't
copyright.
have.
Yeah.
There's another game company that's doing that, and then there was a little bit of a hubbub. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre just came out with a competing game, which was made by the same people who did Friday the 13th, and there was some saltiness for a second, but they got over it. I think the Dead by Daylight's a weird anomaly. It's like a unicorn. Because like even if you go back to before like Evolve or that type of game, they just asymmetricals don't live. But there's something wacky and weird about Dead by Daylight that is just
Well, it's got the heavy IP on top of it because a lot of the other games like Evolve, like no one has a connection to Evolve other than the fun of playing it, and so but Dead by Daylight has dozens of characters that people are attached to, and the horror genre on its own already has a huge fan following.
And Evolve just had like, here's your like 4 or 6 hunters, and then here's your like 3 to 5 monsters they eventually came out with. But like their production schedule was very slow because we have this good game and you'll just get good at it, and that's going to be the meta. And Dead by Daylight figured out like, no, we need new shit every quarter. So every quarter, a new month, a new killer, and at least one new survivor comes out. And like again, you could play Nick Cage. Like, it's not just the killers anymore. Now you can play literally Ash from Evil Dead, Nick Cage. Nick Cage's perks are fucking amazing. They're like, it's the funnest, stupid shit ever. But you can play, like, the human characters from Stranger Things or Friday the 13th or whatever. So it's kind of cool to be able to not only play the IP killers, but IP survivors.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I tried to play Evolve in beta, like right when it was coming out, and their servers were like just absolute garbage. And so like you would be like, on my screen, we're dropping out of the plane, but on their screen, like I'm alive on the ground and they're just killing you, and you're like, fuck. And then we couldn't ever get the game to work, but it seemed really cool. All right.
I will say real quick before we move on, Dead by Daylight is free. You don't have to pay for it. Because they expect that you'll buy the characters and stuff. But yeah, if you ever want to get drunk on a Friday and just goof around and get terrorized by a killer, and also it's fun to play like a private server. You can make a private server. So if you ever just want to goof off, I would be too good to play with you guys. Basically,
it says Dead by Daylight is $20.
I could swear it was free to play at this point, but
I mean, on Steam it's $20. Is it free somewhere else?
It might be.
Okay.
It might be free on Epic. I know it was free on Epic for sure because that's one of the problems.
I think everything is free on Epic. I get like new releases like monthly. I don't understand what Epic is. I've never actually launched any of these games, but I own like 10 games on Epic.
Yeah, and when you're playing the game, you can tell like if people are on a Switch or on Epic or whatever, and it's always the Epic users who are using hacks because they got like 600 free keys from Epic, and then they get banned and they can just go to the next one. Like, next up, and use all their hacks.
That makes sense.
But anyways, whatever. If it's ever on sale, I'll give you the alert. Like, hey, let's try it out. And then, because they have like, it's like $3 week.
That seems like exactly the kind of game I would really enjoy playing as a group.
Yeah. And all 3,000 of my hours, it was like a specific group that we played with. So it's just
I bet.
Yeah.
Say, it appears here that they have Dead by Daylight Dungeons and Dragons edition. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, you got Vecna. Vecna's the bad guy in that one.
Really?
Yeah. And then there's two survivors. They're like elf bards, male and female elf bard.
Oh, just that? Oh, okay.
I mean, it's pretty funny. They play a little tune and roll D20.
It's just a DLC. It said it's only $8. I'm like, the whole game's $8 here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and any IP DLC you have to buy, so that sucks. But anything else you can grind for free. All the non DLCs, but they of course paywall the fun stuff. Generally
Yeah,
speaking,
like
like
Ash
things.
versus Evil Dead, I assume is
Yeah.
money, like
Yeah.
because that's how they keep the game going.
Yeah, I bought him and all of his outfits, and same thing with Nick
Yeah.
Cage. That being said, if you ever want to watch streamers, if you ever want to feel old, generally speaking, like young kids don't relate to Ash anymore. So they'll see somebody playing Ash. There's a character named Bill, and he's old. He's like the guy from Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, I
And
know Bill.
people associate anyone who picks them is probably old. And they don't think it's because he's old. It's just if you're old enough to think that Left 4 Dead is something you want to play, you're old.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, Left 4 Dead's old? Jesus, okay. And then the same thing with Ash. It's like, that's just some shit old people like. They just came out with like Iron Maiden t-shirts, for like killers.
Yeah.
Like there's killer skins that are like Eddie. And people are just like, who the fuck is this? Like all the kids that play it just don't know. They don't relate to it. They're just like, I guess that's like boomer shit. And
Yeah.
and they just I saw a streamer, he actually played Iron Maiden, and he was so mad. He was like, why is this in the game? Like he played Iron Maiden music while he was playing to be like, like, oh, if they put it in the game, it's got to be pretty cool, right? And then he's like, run to the hills, and then he's like, what the fuck is this? He was so mad. It was like,
there's a streamer on YouTube. His name's Pirate Software, but he's a software developer, and they took their game to some convention, and they had it like on demo for kids. And it's like a kids convention.
Mm-hmm.
And so he said they counted over the 2 days, about half of the kids, when it was their turn to play the demo, they walked up to the console and just pushed the controller out of the way because they didn't know what it was and tried to touch the monitor. Because they had never played a video game with a controller before.
Oh
they
my
assumed
God.
it was a touchscreen. And he was like, my soul died that day. All right, you guys see anything fun lately? You watch any cool shows?
I'm going to shout out Joe Pickett again.
Joe Pickett. We talked about this.
We did. Not amazing. There's only 2 seasons. I have 1 episode to go in the last season. Definitely worth a watch. We're going to give it like a solid B+.
Yeah, I think I saw a clip of this. Yeah, it looked pretty good. I feel really scatterbrained right now because I'm in the middle of watching like 8 different shows because I keep watching like, well, I only have an hour, so I can't watch any of these. I don't feel like watching the 2 half-hour shows I'm watching, so I start another show.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I need to just finish some of them off, but several of them are like animes. They're like mid-season, and so that's always hard. I hate watching mid-season. I always prefer to just watch the whole thing at once.
As soon as I finish my last episode of Joe Pickett, I need to watch 1923 and then season 4 of The Boys.
Ooh.
Then I'm sure there's some Disney Plus shit to catch up on. That's my...
Yeah, I think the what is it? The new Daredevil show, I think, is either out or coming out very soon.
You're correct. I don't know which one.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that.
The new what show?
Daredevil Reborn.
Okay, that's what I thought you said.
Yeah,
it's okay. I have to start off every Daredevil season with a rewatch of The Blood of Heroes to get my Vince D'Onofrio juices flowing.
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I've been watching enthusiastically. I don't know what's happened recently. Like if the movie Kraven the Hunter is come out on like PBS or something, because like it's on YouTube constantly. Like they're taking like 10-minute chunks of the movie and just throwing it on YouTube, like hoping it like it was like, okay, so like did it just enter? It like skipped all of the normal distribution, went straight to public domain. It's so bad. But yeah, I'm like dying laughing. It's like, holy Jesus H! Like, how did this movie? I actually need to go see Kraven at this point.
I actually want to see it too, but I just didn't really have time when it was in theaters, and I heard that it just absolutely fucking bombed.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you from the clips, it's bad. It's
that surprises me at how bad it is. Then,
The first thing is Aaron Taylor Thompson or whatever his name is, sucks. Like it's just not the role for him.
Yeah.
I get it. He's super jacked and kind of looks the part, but he doesn't have the voice. He literally sounds like the kid from Kick-Ass still. So you can't take him serious every time he talks. He was like, Jesus Christ. And then the action is just terrible. Rhino is embarrassing. Yeah, it's all the acting in it is atrocious. Other than Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe's like hard carrying it, if you could call it that.
He's trying. He's putting in a solid A effort.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you guys ready for Mojo? You got something else you want to chat about?
Mojo. Oh, Mojo World?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, here we go. This week on Mojo World, we're doing kids' movies that are also fun for adults. This week, we have a guest, so the guest is going to go first. So, Nigel, you have exactly one opportunity to steal Aaron's number one pick.
It's never going to happen.
I'm gonna say I really need you to come through.
Aaron's gonna say Blood of Heroes.
He probably is.
Man, it's like I gotta get one. Yeah, I've got the number one draft pick.
Mm-hmm. Now it makes some categories, right? Because if you get like, it's hard to get an example off the top of my head, but we did John Travolta and you got first pick and you chose Pulp Fiction. It's like, yeah, fucking no kidding, you're gonna win.
I'm gonna just take it off the board right away because it's probably the number one pick and say the Goonies.
Goonies, all right. Goonies was not on my list.
I actually
for the same reason it's never on my list is I haven't seen it.
Oh.
You can't pick movies you haven't seen. It's a rule.
Mm.
Right.
Who's next?
Aaron is up. Aaron.
It's Mulan.
Mulan's good.
That's why I picked it. I remember watching it for the first time and being like, wow, that is like one of the best animated, I think, movies. Granted, it's, I don't know. I really, really liked it. I liked the whole thing, how they did the entire movie, the storyline, the animation.
The story, the animation, the cinematography is actually really impressive for an animated movie because like the way the scenes change at the point they get to like the past and they see what the Huns had done is like for the rest of the movie it's just got this really somber tone to it and everything up to there was fun. And so it's just this knife edge cut to a whole different tone is really impressive. But yeah, and also I think it's still one of my favorite like music renditions for an animated movie. Like it's got so many great songs in it.
It does. I've never seen the live action version. That's on purpose because
I have not either.
Ruined my experience.
By intent, yeah, I'm afraid that it's going to be bad. Also, I remember, I don't know if you guys have experienced this, probably less so, especially for Aaron, because I know he doesn't watch anime. There's a huge push right now, or at least in the last like 5-10 years, to make a lot of animes into live action. And I think it's a natural response people have when they have like their favorite stuff they want it to be brought to the big screen, air quotes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just bad. Like, I don't know why. Like, if you think about animation, it's effectively free CGI. You have no real hard budget compared to what it would be to do live action. And the thing about animated things is you can be beyond normal. Like, you can have extra normal things going on. And it's so much easier to sell, right? Because it's style. You put all these things on top of it that make it realistic.
Well, I think
the point of making... Go ahead.
Well, I think to almost more to the point is with anime, the user, the audience, is doing so much projection and filling in the blanks. There's so much reference, memes, attributions, like that. It doesn't translate to real. I mean, so like,
yeah,
it's kind of like the reading a book versus seeing a movie kind of gap. It's almost the same type of gap. And so,
you're putting your own filter on top of it because there's like, it's a little basic because you're enhancing it within your own mind.
Yeah, 100%.
It's also so much easier to do anything that would require an effects budget. And so you end up getting way cooler effects for the dollar investment. Because a lot of these projects, even though they're backed by a decent amount of money, like if you want to make Naruto live action, it's going to be so fucking expensive to do everything. As where, like, in the anime, it's like, we just have to draw, like, a fireball. That's all we have to do. Like, like, it's so fucking easy. And you have to find an actor who can sell the character. And you're already tied to such an ingrained version of said character that you can't change anything about it. And so I just think it's a really stupid trend. And they did that for Disney as well. And I don't like that at all.
Yeah. Disney's are soulless. Like, they're really bad.
Yeah.
That being said, have you seen the One Piece on Netflix?
I haven't. I've heard it's the best of the live action adaptations.
It's good, and I actually don't hate the Cowboy Bebop one either, even though everybody hates it.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed
That
the
one-
heck out of that one.
That one did a really good job of making it feel realistic. Of at least like the characters fit, the settings fit. But Cowboy Bebop again, like there's some things you're just never going to be able to pull off in live action.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah. Anyway, come to my back-to-back picks. I have to go Megamind because it's my favorite kids movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to go with The Incredibles.
That was on my short list.
Yeah, I think I was amazed both of these made it to the final round, but I have several good ones left, but I assume they're not coming back to me, so
you'd be surprised.
Aaron's go.
You'd be surprised, exactly. There's so many just in the 80s. The 80s was like such a magical.
There are a lot of good
kids
80s
movies.
ones.
Yep. We're going to stick with the 90s, though, and go Shrek.
Shrek's a good one. Shrek is probably like the quintessential of this generation.
You're not wrong. I just personally like Mulan better, so she had to go first.
Oh, I agree. I think I would have also picked Mulan over Shrek.
I think Incredibles would have been my third if it was still on the board, but it won't be, so I'll have to dig deep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Nigel.
All right, I'm taking
back-to-backs.
The Dark Crystal and Neverending Story. That's the full 80s. That's your...
Yeah, it's been I don't know if I've ever seen Dark Crystal. It's been a long time since I've seen Neverending Story.
Nigel, I have literally not seen any movie on your list.
Jesus.
I don't feel great about any of those because I think they're all movies I would like. I just haven't ever seen them.
They're all straight bangers.
Mm-hmm.
And so many of them have like memes that are crazy. Like
I only wish you would have taken Labyrinth over Neverending Story. I still would not have seen any of them, but I'm more interested in seeing Labyrinth.
I was close on Labyrinth, but I almost can't consider that a kid's movie just because of David Bowie's balls.
Okay.
It's just a movie about David Bowie's package. And everybody's staring at it.
Full of Muppets, though?
It is, in David Bowie's package.
Okay.
He's running around with these like leather nut huggers, and he's just this bulge. And then,
I mean, to be fair, Nigel, if you were David Bowie, so would you.
Yeah.
All right, Aaron, you got your final pick.
We're gonna do the classic throw on the final, and I'm gonna go with Short Circuit.
Ooh, there's nothing wrong with Short Circuit.
I am prepared to be wrong there, but I think it's a really cute movie.
Your mother was a snowblower. My favorite insult. All right, I'm going to go with another 80s movie that is dear to my heart, Hook.
Oh, yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Hook's up there. That's a goated one.
Hook's great. I mean, if you've never seen Hook, Robin Williams at his peak.
And there's so many honorable mentions, like Major Payne, Labyrinth.
Major Payne is good. Finding Nemo is the other one, which is like it's nobody's favorite, but it's like the general popular. And then Iron Giant is an honorable mention I'll give, especially for Parker since he's not here.
Yeah.
Jumanji.
Jumanji's great. Yeah. Again, perfect Robin Williams.
I actually liked Night at the Museum too.
Ooh, you're not wrong.
Aaron, you could have picked National Treasure.
Despite the fact that is a family-friendly movie, I would not call it a kids' movie.
Yeah, if he's picking that, I'm taking Cliffhanger.
Yeah. And there are plenty of PG movies or PG-13 I would not have considered because of the definition.
I was trying to make a joke about how the National Treasure movies are written for people with children-like IQ. But...
Oh, yeah. I see.
Ha ha ha.
No.
So
I
funny.
also like National Treasure. I just know that they're not well liked from the public.
I mean,
the
they are
fucking wrong.
They're fun movies. They're super fun movies.
They're fun,
but the movie does. It's a movie franchise that asks the question: are the Dan Brown novels too highbrow for you? But other than that, but Nick Cage, he's bringing it. And so you can't.
Nick Cage did bring it. It's a fun. There's a lot of banter that's good, and sometimes I just want what is it? What show do I watch when I just want banter, but I don't actually care what I'm watching? Oh crap!
The Mummies.
Can't remember. It's a Netflix show, and it's just there's a lot of quips back and forth, but it's like a bad show.
Party Down. Oh, Party Down's a great show. Never mind.
Party Down is good, but that's not what I was talking about.
That's a quippy one.
God, I can't remember what it is now. But it's kind of like the Letterkenny thing. I don't think people actually like Letterkenny. They just like the fast-paced jokes just hitting you over and over and over again. It's the dopamine addiction thing. But anyway. I think it's like the Big Bang Theory. It's if you just shotgun enough little jokes at people, they'll like it. All right. That's going to wrap up our Mojo World today. So just in summary, Nigel got Goonies, Dark Crystal, Neverending Story. Aaron got Mulan, Shrek, and Short Circuit. And I got Megamind, Incredibles, and Hook. I think we're all very happy with our lists, which is a great one. That means it's good if we're all like, yeah, I didn't even get screwed. All right, well, thank you guys for tuning in. This has been Brandon.
And Aaron.
And Nigel.
And you've just listened to David Bowie's Balls.
So what are we going to call this thing?
I got it. Okay. Incredible, new, fantastic, astonishing, mighty, original, uncanny, sensational podcast.
I'm just going to put down infamous.